When is the last time you watched a trailer and that trailer convinced you that you should go see that movie? And not just watch the movie, I mean go see it. When is the last time you saw a movie trailer and you said to yourself, I already know I'm going to go see this movie, but now I just need to see the trailer? When is the last time that happened for you? And again, I'm stressing the fact that you need to go to the theater to watch this movie. Welcome back, everybody, to My Last Brain Cell. Hey, y'all. Happy Friday, Junior. I really hope that this week has been kind to you. I hope that you guys are chilling as we kind of come to the end of this month. Before I forget, I want to make sure I say tomorrow is Juneteenth. So let me put that in advance. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, yo, my question of the day really is, and as you can see, I'm jumping right into it. My question of the day really is, when is the last time a movie trailer convinced you to go see a movie in theaters? Now, I have been watching a lot of movies, a lot of TV just in general these past couple of weeks, right? Like I while I work, I don't listen to music or watch as many podcasts as I used to. I really have been watching a lot of movies because I'm trying to get inspiration for my own stuff. And boy, oh boy, have I seen some bangers. Now, we have talked about the movie Send Help, which I really think needed to give us more in its trailer to really entice people to go see it. I knew I wanted to watch. I said, I'd watch that. I knew that, but I knew I wasn't going to go see it in theaters. But I feel like the theater experience would have been insane for that movie. It was just really good. The twists and turns that happened in that film were unseen. You didn't expect them, which is what I think made that movie so spectacular. So this past weekend, I had the opportunity to go see The Furious. Now, for me personally, The Furious is a movie that when I saw the trailer, I did say to myself, oh, I need to go see this movie. I kind of knew because I am a person who, as an action junkie, really enjoys a solid martial arts film. If there is hand-to-hand combat present in a film and some very good choreography, not a bunch of cuts, I'm all here for it. Now, I know the MCU has some pretty popular fights, and those are pretty heavily cut. But when it comes to an actual martial arts film, you don't get the cuts like that. So I knew I wanted to go see it. And boy, oh boy, it did not disappoint. These people were moving their bodies in ways that still seem unfathomable. A grip ago, we talked about how one of my most when I say a grip ago, I mean like this is probably within like the first year of the show. We talked about how one of my most toxic traits is I could watch a martial arts film and I'm instantly thinking to myself, yo, I could do that. I'm cocky like that. Let me watch an Ip Man film and I'm going to go pull off some Wing Chun moves. Watching this movie, all I kept saying to myself is, yo, how did he do that? How are their bodies moving like that? There was this one, spoilers, there was this one big dude. He was terrifyingly agile. The way he was jumping around and moving his body, doing his flips and twists, and he was scary. There was human Beyblades, human cannonballs. There were combos being thrown that I never thought a human being made of flesh and blood was possible of throwing. Someone made their own dog pile of dead bodies. It was a crazy film. And this is a film that I think in the trailers and clips that we've seen prior to the film releasing in the US, because I know it has been out for a while, so I'm sure you could search some of the clips. I'm sure you could have, I should say, search for some of those clips prior to the movie coming out, but I wasn't doing that. I was just like, I saw the first trailer and said, yep, I'm gonna go see it. And then I saw, I think, one more clip. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. And then I saw a couple other like 15 seconds here and there, and I was like, the things I'm seeing just look insane. They look like They were promo clips, and in a sense of they looked like they were just there just to draw you in, and that they wouldn't actually be part of the movie. Like how Avengers Infinity War faked us all out by saying Hulk will be there, and Hulk's ass never showed up past his ass whooping within the first 5 minutes of the film. I highly recommend that movie. Which brings me to the next movie that I watched over the past week or so. Now, this one, I also said to myself, I would watch this film, but I didn't say I want to go see it. If they had given me maybe a little bit more in the trailers, I might have gone to see it. I also know I'm not one looking for or at any form of advertisement for these films. I'm not looking for the only film that I'm looking for and anticipating films, I should say, are Spider-Man and Avengers. Those are the ones that I'm like actively like scoping the scene for, you feel me? Every other film I see a trailer, I'm like, "Oh, okay." I watched They Will Kill You on HBO. That movie was a lot of fun to watch. It was just a fun film. Zazie Beetz, and I'm sure I just butchered her name, and I'm sorry in advance. She's a great actor. I like watching her. She's cute as hell as well. But yeah, it was a very fun movie. The trailer made it seem like she just had to escape this cult. She was gonna fight back and escape this cult. What the movie doesn't tell you, or what the trailers don't tell you, is that everyone she's fighting is immortal. Now, it reminds me of another movie that I watched recently. Like I said, I've been watching movies, y'all. Ready or Not. I watched the first Ready or Not recently. And for those of you who don't remember Ready or Not, this came out some years ago. Ready or Not was about a woman who married a man. She married into his family. And every time someone gets married into the family, or maybe it was around this time of year, I don't remember what it was, but either way, they play a series of games. And depending on the game, will determine, I guess, whatever consequences. But it seems that only one game has severe consequences, and that game was hide and seek. So naturally, that's what the premise of the film is about. But the now wife doesn't fully understand what's going on. So she's hiding. She's having a good time, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, okay, whatever. She gets tired of hiding. And she's getting ready to be like, guys, I give in, blah, blah, blah. Not understanding the severity of the situation that she's in. She sees someone gets killed and then starts putting pieces together, runs away, and then eventually starts to muster up the courage, gather the tools necessary to wipe out the rest of the family, or at least evade her own capture and death while she's out there. I want to say, though, that they were not immortal in that movie, but it was almost the same premise of that both families need a human sacrifice in order to, hilariously enough, and I guess not hilarious, but ironically enough, continue their contract with some devil so that they could stay alive forever. I think the one family had like eternal life, but they could still die, but the others were immortal. I think that's how it worked. Like the ones in They Will Kill You were immortal to the point of Zazie Beetz was blowing heads off, and their bodies were still walking around. They were able to regenerate their heads, and they were able to put their hands back together, their arms. They were subverting death by all costs. But I don't think the family in Ready or Not had that same ability. Now, Ready or Not has a second movie that I have not watched a trailer for. But when I actually, it has to be a lie, because I think when I saw the trailer for Ready or Not 2, I said to myself, I should go watch Ready or Not. But again, it wasn't, let me go see it. It was, I will watch this movie. And I hope that statement doesn't go above your heads. Like, it is like I said, Spider-Man and Avengers, and I'll throw a third in, Supergirl. I know I'm going to go see those films in theaters without a shadow of a doubt. Odyssey being an honorable mention on that list. But there are, I'm sure, other films coming out this year that might look interesting. I might see a trailer for it, but I'm not saying, yo, I need to go see that. What I'm gonna say is, I would watch that. Yo, I'm gonna tune in. Does that make sense? But let me know what you guys think, man. I feel like I talked a lot. That was a hefty question of the day. You feel me? And I really want to talk about. You know what? Yeah, I was gonna go into more detail about the Furious, but just know it was an action-packed hands fest, an action-packed, unorthodox hands fest. Again, the way they were moving their bodies seemed to really circumvent human law, the human physics. They should not have been able to move, and I don't think. Let me put it to you this way: the opening fight doesn't have a fist thrown until maybe 4 minutes in, but people are getting knocked down and manhandled. I'm gonna put it to you that way. Anyway, while you sit there and ponder and think about that, the main guy I think only used his fist twice, and he was putting people down. While you ruminate with that information, let me go ahead and get the wheel of fun. Now, if this lands on movies, I'm gonna respin. Just putting it out there. I'm glad I didn't go backwards. About me. Wow. So when I put this on the wheel, it was supposed to be me just talking about myself, something random. So I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but I used to play viola and cello when I was in middle school, elementary school, and for most of my high school career. And I had to say most of my high school career because the very first year of high school, I went to a school that didn't have a music program. But then I transferred to one my sophomore year, and I stayed there till I graduated. But yeah, from third grade to 8th grade, and then 10th to 12th, I played a string instrument. From 3rd to 5th, I played the viola. And for those of you who don't know, the viola is the one that sits on your shoulder up here. Unlike the violin, the viola does not have the E string. I think it has the G string, like the cello does. I think it goes A, B, D, G before the for the violin. I think it goes E, A, B, D. I think. Anyway, I could be wrong. It's been years since I touched a string instrument. I didn't go to school for music at all either. And there are times though, like especially watching TikTok and watching creators and things like that, there are times where I really wish someone made me understand just how versatile string instruments can be. Because for the majority, if not the entirety of my string music career, I played mostly classical music, which I think also helped me to appreciate other types of music besides just hip hop and R&B, which is what I was mostly exposed to. Hearing classical music, I think gave me the ability to really appreciate other types of music. But I thought mistakenly that was the only type of music I would ever be able to play. I once played the Pink Panther, the doom, da doom, doom, doom. I once played that with my orchestra, and that was probably the coolest thing we ever did. I want to say that was in high school. That was probably the coolest string instrument experience that I ever had. I remember in high school, the band, like the wind instruments players, they were able to go to like Disney and perform and stuff, but the orchestra never could. So I just became very jaded, I think, when it came to music of that kind, because it felt like we were being overlooked, and it felt like we were being overlooked, because we couldn't bring the same boom and thunder that the band could. I mean, they have percussions and wind instruments and things like that. We have strings, but a bass, even I'm talking about a bass, a big ass bass. The bass, the one that you stand up with. Cello, you sit down with and play. Viola and violin is on your shoulder, right? And the bass is not gonna be able to compete with a saxophone or a tuba, a trumpet, or some drums. You know what I mean? But I just became jaded. But I really wish I understood just how powerful these instruments were. Because now I'm watching people play. I watched someone play the fucking Power Rangers theme song on here. Like, what? Younger me, 17, 12-year-old to you know what I mean? 12-year-old me, 15-year-old me, never would have fathomed that was even a possibility for string instruments. I never would have thought. It was really cool for me, and I appreciate having played these instruments because it's cool for me to sometimes tell people that I do that. And I can pretty confidently say that I can read music. Now it's been a very long time since I've read music. Again, the last time I played a string instrument or even touched one was my senior year of high school. I'm 32 years old. I'm 32. What year are we in? 2026? I'm 33 years old. I'll be 34 this year. I graduated high school in 2010. I graduated high school a grip ago. So while I know that my affinity of playing a string instrument has withered, I do believe that I can still read the music with some confidence. Because honestly, the easiest thing about reading music is I think I read the cello / treble clef, something like that. What I remember is that the viola and the cello have the same clef. They run on the same clef, which is why that transition for me was pretty easy. But the C is just the middle line. So once you know that, it helps everything else out. So there were, I think, 5 lines. So C is the middle line, and then it's B at the bottom, B under that, and then A under that, and then D and G. That's how I remember it. But if I'm not mistaken, though, honestly, yeah, I think everyone has the C in the middle. Yeah. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, y'all. Not even gonna lie. And I think the one thing I'm doubting right now is what strings the cello and the violin and viola have. I'll put it up here. Like as I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to doubt because if the C is the middle, I'm missing or forgetting something. So I'll put the strings and like the clefs and all that other information on here. But yeah, man, sometimes I do think about wanting to get my own cello or viola again. They are fucking expensive. These things are expenny. But that's for a more, I'll just say it. That's for a more gray Dakota. That's for a Dakota who can wake up, you know what I mean, drink his coffee on his porch and then go back in and play his music. That's when I can get that string instrument. But yeah, for right now, that was what I was trying to talk about. I haven't thought about that in a while. Like, I mean, I guess it's a lie because I guess when I see people, like I saw someone playing the Bleach theme song, the dun 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 dun. I saw someone playing that, so I think about just all the. It's interesting because that is all music, but I never considered the fact that music could be played on the instruments that I had access to. It seemed unfathomable, but now I know, and now that I know, if I can get my hands on one again, I become powerful, very powerful. But that's enough out of me. I'm gonna go ahead and skedaddle. Thanks for tuning in and stopping by. I appreciate it, y'all. This is King Echo, signing off.